Greetings, my name is Sacrificial and welcome to The Sims 4 our first modding tutorial. I didn't know how to do this intro, I'm sorry. But anyway, on this tutorial I'm gonna teach you how to create your custom object with a custom interaction, okay? So you can put it in your game and not override any in-game data. I'm going to start very simple since this is the first tutorial ever. I don't want you to panic or get overwhelmed by the amount of coding or whatever. So I'm gonna start simple. I'm gonna do a very simple thing, so it's gonna be really easy to follow. All right, so for this tutorial you're going to need Sims 4 Studio and a working Sims 4 game, of course. Okay, so let's get started. I'm basically going to create an object and then add a custom interaction to this object so your sim can actually use the new interaction that you made, and also we're going to give it a new name. So let's do this. So first of all, you're going to go to the option section and then you're gonna select selective clone. Click on the object and then you're going to choose what kind of object would you like to use. I'm going to go with a painting object because it's really easy to work with and it's not going to give you any hard time working on it. So you're gonna select any painting object for this tutorial and then you're gonna hit next. Make sure that everything in here is selected and then go with OK. Okay, now this object has a lot of swatches which we don't need, so I'm going to remove all the swatches in here. Since we're not going to use them, we're only going to use one of them. Alright, you can change the name of the object. Let's call it tutorial painting, for example. And the description, this painting will have a custom interaction. You can change the price if you want. I'm gonna put it to 300. And that's it for the basic stuff. Now you can change the texture if you'd like to. All you have to do is to export this image right here, open it in Photoshop or any program that you use, and then import it again, and that will change the texture. Alright, and now to actually start with the coding itself and to add the custom interaction to the object. So we're going to go to warehouse tab in here and then we're going to scroll all the way down. Now you're gonna notice there are a lot of things, but it's fine because we're only going to use one of them, which is in here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I want to add a custom interaction to this object, and in order to do that you're going to first make this object has its own custom tuning. I'm going to explain to you what an object tuning is in a second. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to tools and then extract tuning. And then you're going to search for objects underscore painting. And then select the object right here, which is called object painting. Now anything that has an object before the name, like at the beginning, is actually an object tuning, okay? Since this is a painting, I decided to go with a painting object tuning. Now you can have whatever object tuning you'd like for this object. If you'd like this painting to act like a closet, for example, all you have to do is extract an object tuning of a closet instead of a painting. Alright, so once we got the object tuning, we're going to go to the data tab on here. You see there's an XML tab, there is a data tab. Now the XML tab has all the codes inside of this object, and the data tab has the name and the instance of this object. So currently, if you're going to use this object as it is, this is going to replace the in-game painting, which is something that we don't want. So what I'm going to do, or what you're gonna do, is you're gonna put your name at the beginning of the name, or whatever name you want or whatever you want at the beginning. So I'm going to go with TP as in tutorial painting, and this is very important, is that you put the colon punctuation after the name. Now you can put it wherever you want. You can put it at the end, it doesn't matter, but what matters is you're going to have the colons inserted anywhere in your text, but it's better if you put it at the beginning, okay? And basically once you put this, it's going to automatically generate a tuning ID for you instead of you doing it manually. So I'm going to go with TP custom painting, and that's it. then you hit enter and you're gonna see that the tuning ID has changed. If you don't put the colon punctuation, the name is going to stay the same as you see. It didn't change, which is something that we don't want. So always make sure to put the colons, and then you're gonna have the tuning and the tuning ID. Now before I keep going, I want to mention that I'm using a program called 10 Clips. This is a free program, and basically what it does is that it gives you the ability to set numbers to copy stuff. So for example, you can copy like multiple things at a time and then paste multiple things at a time by assigning them to numbers. So I really recommend downloading that program since it's really going to help you. So what I'm gonna do is that hit Ctrl 1. We're going to copy the tuning ID, Ctrl 1 C, and then Ctrl 2 C, the name and the tuning ID. I didn't really have to copy the tuning ID at this point, but like only you have to copy the name. And then you're going to go to the object definition, scroll down until you see the tuning and the tuning ID. Okay, now you're going to paste your name here, and since you have a colon, it will automatically change the tuning ID to match the one in the object tuning. Now a tuning and a tuning ID is basically the name of the XML file, and the tuning ID is the unique number to it. Now this will not replace the game's data if we like mess around with this. Now I don't want you to panic. I know that, oh my god, there are a lot of codes in here, like whoa, this is too much. Don't worry about it. First of all, you can see that there's a cat in here. I believe that this was here before actually they announced the expansion pack. This is like how everyone knew about it. And a dog in here also. Anyway, we don't need any of these things, so you can either scroll down until you see something called super affordances, or you can simply minimize this piece of code, and that's it. That's all we need, the super affordances tab in here. You can ignore everything else in this code or XML. Don't worry about it, don't panic. All you need is the super affordances. Now you're gonna look on the left, you have the tuning ID of the interaction, and on the right you have the name of the interaction. Now this part right here is not actually necessary for the game. You can delete it if you want, but that's not recommended because it really helps you to know like what this interaction is referring to. And this is why I wanted you to download that program, because once you start copying tuning IDs of the interactions, you're going to also copy the name and put it on here, like so, for example, or like so. So it's really going to help you. Alright, so you're going to look at this list and you're gonna see which of these interactions you'd like to get rid of. So for example, I don't want this painting to be sold for cost. I want it to be reset. I want it to be destroyed if I wanted to. Set as head also. Admire positions. All of these things. I don't want it to be viewed though. This is up to you. You can like keep all of the interactions. If you'd like to, you can delete them. It's up to you. Alright, now that we actually cleaned up everything and we are ready to add our first custom interaction, you're going to go to tools and then extract tuning. And what you're going to do is search for any type of interaction you'd like to have a base from. This is basically what you're going to be doing through your tutorials. You're going to be taking some of the interactions as a base and then you're gonna start editing on them. I'm going to go with something simple. So I'm gonna go with reactions underscore ghosts, and I'm gonna choose the first one. You're going to hit add to current package, hit X, and then go down. Like, this is very important, is that first of all, you're going to go to the data tab and then you're going to change the name of the interaction. Now this does not change the inside the game name of the interaction. This only changes its name inside the program itself. So we're going to go with the same thing. We're gonna call it TP colon, and then we're going to call it custom interaction, and you hit enter, and as you see, you're going to see the tuning ID has changed as well. Now you're gonna go back to XML. You're going to leave everything as it is for now, and we're gonna start with changing the name. So you're going to scroll all the way down until you see this display name. You can also search for it. Sims 4 Studio has a search feature, so Control F and then search for name, and it's going to take you to the name. Alright, now as you will notice, there is a number in here, and also there is a green text in here. Now this works like the tuning ID. This is like the tuning of the name, and this does not matter. Like, the game is not going to see this because you're going to add this code to the string table in here, but once we are done with it. So we're gonna go to the name. First of all, you cannot change the name like of this code, because then it will override any text in the game that has this code, which is scared by ghost. So what you're gonna do is go to tools and then hash generator, and in here you're going to put whatever you want, but make sure to make it unique. So what I'm gonna do is gonna call it TP, for example, underscore custom interaction, and then TP ghost, just to make sure that like no one used this code before, you know. And then hit copy in the FNV32, and you're going to select after the 0x and hit paste, and now you have your own custom code for the custom name. I'm going to call this interaction custom interaction, but as I mentioned before, this is not actually going to name your interaction. You'll have to put it in the string table of your game's language. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl 1 using 10 clips program and hit copy, and then Ctrl 2 and then copy. And then I'm going to go to the English string table, click on edit items, click add, and then Ctrl 1 paste. This is the code that we generated using the hash generator, and then Ctrl 2 is the name of the interaction, and we hit save, and that is it. Make sure that after you actually put the new custom name and code in the English string table, to go to tools and then modding, and then select copy string tables to all languages. This will basically copy your new codes that you've put in the English language to any other languages of the game. Now we go back to the interaction, and I want to mention something. If you look in here, it says super interaction, okay? Now there are different types of interactions. There are super interactions, there are mixer interactions, and there are social super interactions. And I think there is something also called mixer social interaction, which I never worked with. Now, super interactions are the best to work with in this case. I use these super interactions in almost all of my codes. It's the easiest to work with, and you'll have to stick with it for now. I'm going to talk about the differences like in the future tutorials. Alright, now if you look here, you're going to see allow autonomous. This means that this interaction could either be used automatically by the sim or not. I believe that even if this was set to true, the sim is not going to use the this interaction autonomously, because there are other things that need to be put in here. For example, this interaction is going to give you fun, this interaction is going to give you energy, for example. This is how the sims actually use the beds or the other things, is that when they have low energy, they will tend to use this interaction. Alright, we're going to put it to false, you know, just in case. And if you look in here, there's something called basic content one shot, and then we have something called animation ref, and then factory. Now this is the tuning ID of the animation tuning, and this is the name of it. So currently when you actually select this interaction, the sim is going to play this animation, which is social responses purified. We're going to change that to something else. So you're going to go to extract tuning again, and you're going to search to whatever animation you want. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go for the fist bump animation. So if you look up here, you're going to see before each tuning, there's the type of that tuning. And here it says box, and here it says interaction, and here it says snippet. We want the animation for now, so I'm going to choose this. cheer fist pump basic, and we're going to select add to current package. And this is how it looks inside. I don't want to explain it for now because I don't want it to be complicated for you. So you're gonna go to data, and then you're going to copy the tuning ID and the name of this, and then you can delete it because you don't actually have to edit anything with it, so you're not actually going to overwrite any game data. So you're gonna go down, you're gonna go back to the animation ref, and then you're gonna hit Ctrl 1 using 10 clips V. This is the tuning ID of the fist pump animation, and then Ctrl 2 V is the name of it. As I've mentioned before, this part right here is not actually necessary. It's only for you as a developer to know like what this tuning ID is referring to make things easier for you in the future. Now if you look down here, there's something called overrides, which means that when the sim will actually play this animation, a balloon is going to pop up its head, and it says right here that it's a ghost balloon. I'm going to keep it for now. If you don't like this, you can delete it by minimizing the overrides section and then simply delete this. This way your sim is not going to have a balloon, but I wanted to have it, so I'm gonna keep it. And this is it. I just want to mention a quick thing is that if you look right here, there's something called an outcome single actions loot list. This is basically means that once this interaction is over, this sim is going to have an action loot to a buff called Startled by Ghost. I'm not gonna explain this for now. I'm gonna explain it on future tutorials, but I want to mention it because it's going to show up in the game. And yeah, that's it. Now you're going to go to your interaction, you're going to copy the tuning ID, you're going to copy the name, and then we're going to go back to the object tuning that we created earlier, which was called TP custom painting. We're going to go to the XML section, minimize the components, and then go to the super affordances section. Now what you're gonna do is that you're going to copy it and then copy this and paste it in here. And so this way it's easier for you to actually paste the tuning and the tuning name for your interaction. So we're gonna go back to Ctrl 1. We're gonna paste the tuning ID of the custom interaction, and then we're going to go Ctrl 2 and paste the name of the custom interaction, and that's it. Now you have your own custom painting inside the game, and it's gonna have a custom interaction in it. All right, you're going to hit save. You're gonna save your package. All right, and that's it. Now you're gonna go to wherever you saved your package. You're gonna copy it, and then you're going to put it in your Sims 4 mods folder. So you can put it in here, you can put it in a folder. I'm gonna put it in a folder calling it Sims 4 tutorials, and then I'm gonna paste it in here. Then you're gonna launch your game. All right, now that your game launched, I suggest that you start a new game. You don't have to, but like it makes things easier for you. All right, now that the game has launched, we're going to actually place the painting that we created. So we're gonna put a wall, and then we're going to look for the painting. You can search for it here, which is really cool. And it was tutorial painting, and there you have it. It's right here. It's have the custom name, and it says this painting will have a custom interaction on it. You're going to place it right here, and that's it. Now I recommend at this point to save your game, because you're going to be coming back to this a lot of times, because you're gonna be testing and adding stuff to the painting, whatever. So save your game, so whatever you change, it's going to be easier for you to access, and you don't have to like create a new family or like repurchase the painting every time you hop into the game. So I'm gonna call it custom painting test. I also recommend decorating it, so because you're going to come back to it a lot of times, like at least you're gonna have something to please your eyes with or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the painting. We're now going to click on it to test if the interaction is there or not. Here we go. It says custom interaction. Now what's going to happen is that when I click on this interaction, it's going to play the fist pump animation and also give him a buff. Now because we called it a custom interaction, it's called a custom interaction. You can change that in the text string table whenever you want. So let's test this out. custom interaction. There we go. And here we go. He did the fist bump animation. And as I've mentioned before in the loot thing, he got this buff. And yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. So I'm going to now save and exit the game. I'm going to upload this package somewhere so you can actually have it. If you'd like to compare stuff with your progress or whatever. And yeah, I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Have a great day.